All right, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Mr. Pogue. I've been here since 2010. From 2010 till 2019, I ran the in-school suspension room back in the the old kitchen, and then in 2015 moved to the where we're at now in the old auditorium. Um, Firm believer in ghosts. Had experiences myself. One I don't talk about from when I was little, and then some after that, and then also I've kind of toured some haunted places that have been pretty cool. Gettysburg, Salem, Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts. Done the haunted Wichita tour, so if you could say I'm kind of really into the paranormal.
Do you believe in ghosts?
100%. When I was a little kid, I kind of had an experience. I don't really talk about it a whole lot, but I was pretty little, like 6 or 7, just when you kind of are a kid and start remembering things. And granted, it could be just a child's brain playing tricks on it or whatever, but it definitely was something that opened my eyes to ghosts. And date myself here, but back then we didn't have the internet or anything, so I kind of had to read or wait till Halloween and a ghost show came on, and I was kind of hooked since then. So yeah, I believe in them. I don't necessarily know what they are or why they're around or anything like that, but I 100% sure believe in spirits and ghosts and whatnot.
Have you ever seen a ghost or had some weird happen around heights or even just outside of heights?
Outside of heights, yeah, I've had, like I said, when I was a young kid, I had an experience. Actually, the house I live in now, I've had a couple experiences where like there was a light in a doorway, and I was in a different room, and it was like somebody walked in front of the light in the doorway, so to speak. And I was the only person at home. I don't know who could have walked in front of that or anything like that. I've had house guests stay the night and say they wake up in the middle of the night and they'll hear conversations. At one time I had a friend living with me who was asleep, and the next morning he woke up and he said, "Hey, what'd you come in my room for last night?" And I said, I didn't come in your room. I was asleep. And he's like, "Somebody opened the door and came in my room last night." So my house, I don't want to say it's haunted, but there's definitely people have had experiences there. And then here at Heights, down here in the in-school suspension room, in the old auditorium, I feel I've had some experiences. The stairwell here that leads down underneath the old stage, there's a big door, and many times that's slammed shut. Even when I've had it propped open with a big weight we kept down there, it would still, boom, just slam shut. The doors underneath the exit leading to the foreign language hallway have opened and closed many, many times. Outside the corner of my eye, I've seen shadows, movements all over the place. Breezes come through, and I don't know why. Many issues with my cell phone. I'll look down at my cell phone and it'll be at 5%, and it's only 9 a.m. and I haven't used it, which is kind of odd, and I'll restart it and 100% battery. Things like that. Cell phone just shutting off, computer just shutting off, printer just shutting off. Weird things like that. Up behind where you guys are interviewing me, where they used to do the spotlights and everything, I would hear all sorts of sounds. Just kind of like, I don't want to say they were footsteps or whispers, I don't know, but you could just tell it was a sound, and I knew people weren't up there. Also, I could kind of tell sometimes that like some students would see something out of the corner of their eye and wonder what the heck they just saw. So it's kind of, that kind of opened my eyes, to that something down here is kind of trying to show itself. I don't think it's mean or trying to do anybody harm or anything like that. It's just maybe it's trying to show itself. So those are some of my experiences here, at least in the auditorium at Heights.
What do you think is any possible reasons why there might be ghosts in Heights?
I've thought about that a lot. Obviously, I don't know of any tragedies that have happened here at Heights that would lead to that. But outside of that, just maybe it's just a spirit that's here that loved Heights like we do, and love their time here and love their time in the auditorium, and they don't want to leave. So they spend time down here, and they want us to know we're here. I don't have a definite reason. I can't really come up with a whole lot of stuff. When a lot of people talk about ghosts, there's a tragic backstory to it. But I've never heard of one here, so I just think it's somebody that loved Heights and loved the auditorium, and they're sticking around.
Is there any other locations in Heights that you think may be haunted?
So when I first got here, I think from about 2010 to 2015, I was down in the old, would have been the old kitchen before they did the remodel. It's Mr. G's room now, before the second remodel, and I don't want to say that room was haunted, but that room was definitely weird. It was an old kitchen, and I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Saw, but we always called it the Saw room because it reminded us of the room Saw. But in there, you would definitely feel some drafts come from out of nowhere, weird smells. Sometimes the desks would be in different spots when I left in the morning when I came in than when I left. Now, there's lots of reasons that could have happened, but that's definitely another area that I've been like, it's just kind of creepy in here. I feel like a heaviness. I feel, like I'm not alone here. And I feel like that every time I come in the auditorium, obviously, and underneath the stage, there's a very heavy feeling, and I never feel alone, even when.
What would it take, if it's even possible, for you to stop believing in ghosts?
I don't know. Like, it's kind of like Bigfoot, like either you believe or you don't. I guess it'd take scientific proof to tell me that there's not ghosts here. Just like people believe in Bigfoot, they want scientific, data that proves or disproves Bigfoot is real. For me to quit believing in ghosts, it would take some scientific knowledge or facts to come up to tell me that no, they're not ghosts, it's something else. Or debunk all the things that I've ever experienced in my life, then maybe I would. But right now, I don't think there is anything that'll keep me from believing in ghosts.